Last week, deadly tornadoes impacted North Dakota. 50 years ago, on June 29, 1975, an F4 tornado tracked through the towns of Regent and Mott, killing an infant and injuring 4 others. Meteorologist Jacob Morse looks back at that tornado.
From this butte south of Regent, you could see the weather rolling in for miles. This was the location that the F4 tornado passed over in 1975.
Such a view.
North Dakota weather has always fascinated Dennis Guion.
You know, as a farmer, you're so dependent on the weather.
Growing up in Regent, he often went to the top of this butte just south of town to watch the sky.
We used to go out there all the time.
One storm he'll never forget rolled through his hometown on June 29, 1975. 50 years later, there are still reminders of that day on this butte, including the roof of this building.
There was such a change in pressure, it blew the roof off of that concrete building.
That long track tornado had peak winds of more than 200 miles per hour.
Yeah, that was the big one.
Like everyone who lived in the area back then, Dennis remembers the details of that day. A cousin had just gotten married and Dennis was with family at their farm. He and his sister hopped in the car, desperate to get to their own home before the storm hit.
Well, by the time we got to Regent, you could hardly see anything. It was raining so hard. There was dirt blowing around.
They made it safely to their basement where Dennis and his family waited out the storm. Worst storm you've ever seen?
Yes.
While the worst of the storm and the tornado itself passed just to the south of Regent, many farms surrounding this community were impacted.
Regent was very fortunate. You didn't have to go far to find damage.
You also didn't have to go far to find the helpers. Dennis recalls everyone in the area helping clean up after the storm.
People were out there walking around and picking stuff up. Blank checks from one of the farms out here was, found 50 miles away. You hear stories like that. So it was intense.
And while the storm forever impacted him, it also intensified Dennis's love for weather and his respect for Mother Nature. In Regent, I'm Jacob Morse reporting for your news leader.
Jacob will have more tomorrow from Hettinger County on those impacted by that tornado.
Many of us have experienced an impactful weather event that sticks in our memory long after the storm has cleared. And that's the case for Angela Carlson, who survived an F4 tornado 50 years ago, even though her family's farm was destroyed. Meteorologist Jacob Morse shares her story.
South of Regent, the Gary Doe farm once sat here before an F4 tornado came through in late June 1975.
The barn was such a big deal.
This painting by Angela Carlson's uncle shows the farm before the storm.
My mom loved this place. Looks a little different today than it did in 1975. Now it's just one beautiful big green area.
Angela was just 9 when the violent tornado was heading towards her family's farm.
All the animals were acting differently. We could tell that there was something building, and my mom said, "Get the horses in the barn, let's get everything done." That horse did not want to go in that barn at all. And so we had to fight her, but we got her in there. We went down in the basement, my 2 siblings and I all crowded up. I just remember it got quiet and my mom was upstairs trying to hold the door onto the house, and we peeked out the window and there was nothing. Everything was gone. The barn was gone, the cows, and I was worried about my horse. My horse was gone. Oh, it was so eerie and so quiet.
They were able to rescue her horse and many of their other animals from the rubble.
Shell-shocked, but alive.
Then the community support started pouring in.
Everybody was out helping everybody. People started coming to see what was going on, and we looked up in the sky and there's this beautiful rainbow like you see after a big storm, and we all said kind of gave us hope.
It took them all summer to clean their property up.
My dad said, "Well, you guys are going to go out there and you're going to pick up all the nails." So he made us work after that and pick up what we could as little kids, and then he took the good boards out of there and then he pushed everything in the hole, and now we have basically nothing left. It was such a rough time, but we all came out of it.
And as she walks through the grass where her family's farm once stood, she looks back at how the tornado changed everything.
It was a different life, completely different life.
The house and farmstead may have been rebuilt across the road and up on the hill, but the memories from this site 50 years ago still live on. For your news leader, I'm Jacob Morse.
Tomorrow will mark the 50th anniversary of an F4 tornado in southwest North Dakota. Meteorologist Jacob Morse shares how the communities responded to that disaster.
As the violent tornado tracked along Highway 21 between Regent and Mott, it devastated many farms, leaving a lasting impact on these communities 50 years later.
To see the barn gone and everything else was hard to accept.
This photo
This is my dad.
is one of the last ones that captured this iconic barn on Paul Schwartz's family farm.
And myself.
On June 29, 1975, that barn just southeast of Mott was one of dozens of buildings destroyed in a powerful tornado.
Beautiful day. Nice, calm, sunny afternoon. Nothing really exciting going on, but had this feeling that there's something coming.
He could even see the tornado on its way.
For whatever reason, I walked out the porch and looked around and looked to the west, and I saw it on the ground about a half a mile or so west of our house. Grabbed my wife and kid and ran to the basement.
I remember it just like it was yesterday.
In fact, it was my son's 10th birthday. I remember the sky getting really dark and then bright yellow.
Photos keep the memories alive. Memories of the devastation.
That was overturned.
And memories of the people who came to help clean up.
Red Cross came to help.
It was a tremendous outpouring of support.
People to go help with the debris cleanup, and they went by busload.
Loaders, tractors, and whatever possibly.
Lions, the KCs, everyone got together and helped the families.
The support, I think, was just about as big as the storm, really.
While tragedy and destruction
That's where it was found.
are still associated with this tornado 50 years ago,
The world changed.
the memory of this storm will also be forever etched into residents' minds
Picking up debris.
as a time of togetherness and resilience. In Hettinger County, I'm Jacob Morse reporting for your news leader.
And Jacob will conclude this 50th anniversary series tomorrow.
Today marks the 50th anniversary of a violent tornado in southwest North Dakota that especially impacted one family as they were left injured and their infant son was killed. Meteorologist Jacob Morse shares their story.
East of Regent, this is where the Fucht farm once stood. It was completely destroyed by the F4 tornado on June 29, 1975.
I was 21 and we were married a year and a day. We were dairy farmers. So Dave and I went out to the barn to milk the cows, and after we come out we noticed it was a storm coming, and so we chased the calves into the barn. The storm was getting worse, and so my husband went over to the trailer to close the windows.
The trailer lifted a little bit, dropped back down, and it did this 3 times.
We got into the center of the house and we got down on the floor, and the baby was between the 3 of us.
It sounded like a train was coming into the house.
The east wall came straight at us.
And I thought that this is it. This is how we're going to die. So I started to pray.
Next thing I know, I'm looking at the roof of the trailer laying with the rafters exposed, and it picked up them like dominoes one after another. Then the wind pushed me up against a tree. I thought the wind was going to crush me against that tree because of the force. The storm by this time had intensified with wind, dirt, and debris that you couldn't see 2 foot in front of your face. Finally, I could see the steps in the foundation.
Nothing was missed here, except I have in my hand the Bible, and the Bible has the cover still on it.
Help came out to look for us, and it was our friend Roger Kirschman, who we named our son after. He was the one that found me.
I remember waking up in the neighbor's field, and the ambulance came, and they took us to the Hettinger Hospital.
My mom showed up, and I asked her where the baby was, and she said, "Verna, he's sleeping." In the tone of his voice, I knew he was gone. I was in the hospital for over a month. They didn't expect me to make it through the storm. I know that if it wouldn't be for God, that we would have made it through that tornado, because there's just no reason we should be here today. And I'm also thankful that I know where my baby Roger is. He's with Jesus.
At the site of the Fucht farm today, I'm Jacob Morse, reporting for your news leader.